and gentlemen, aliens, whatever you identify in this wonderful, beautiful world, welcome into the Hunter Houston ESG podcast. As always, I am T Diddy, Hunter, Tom, Thomas, Tommy, whatever you want to call me in this beautiful world. Now, let's get to some should I say some congratulations for having Double Mint on for the PlayStation 8 Dead podcast, which comes on Saturday at 10 p.m. I want to say 10 a.m., but I doubt Sean gets up that early. Shout out to them for having filthy resellers trying to make deals in the chats. Good on calling them out last night, Will. That was pretty funny. Shout out to Resident Steroid and shout out to Loot Bros for always trying to put out good stuff and also being filthy as well when it comes to reselling. And let's get going and get this started out. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gotten Ghost of Yutei. I like Ghost of Yutei. Again, it's a continuation of Ghost of, well, it's 300 years in the future. I don't want to spoil Ghost of Tsushima for anybody who hasn't played it yet. I strongly recommend. That's the only game I recommend to people who have yet to play it. Ghost of Tsushima is an awesome, amazing game. If you are part of the master race and a PC gamer, you will probably enjoy it more because you have the power to have better graphics and everything else. Now, before we get into our stories, what am I currently playing? Obviously, I just mentioned Ghost of Yutei. I am still playing Infinity Nikki because that will, if you have a female daughter, and she's interested in dress spears and stuff like that, and it's something that's simple and easy to play, regardless of how old she is. Even my sister, who just recently turned, I think she just turned 30. She's getting old. Um, plays Infinity Nikki, and it's a free to play game. So don't get caught up in the money trap. You can also play it on your PC. All over the place. And note, I am not being paid by them, which I am not being paid by someone else. I will be talking about later on. So if you think I'm doing propaganda work, I am not. I'm just going to state things how I see them or how they are. So those are the current games I'm playing, and also it is close to the traditional, state of play for most Steam, Microsoft, all these other different people to do Halloween stuff or horror games. So you can find those, whatever type of horror games you'd like to play. Uh, I still think, well, I'll do a whole nother show about horror games, and hopefully we'll have Resident Steroid on that because he's a big horror game enthusiast, or Will from PlayStation 8 Dead, who's also a big fan of horror games, or we may have someone else on, or even our co-host who is always doing other things. We can have Buggy K on. So we shall see. I think she does play a lot of horror games. I don't play horror games anymore like I used to because I have a young person in my house, and I don't want her to be. It's funny, like when you become a parent yourself and you grew up being exposed to all these horrible things that you didn't realize were horrible, and you're like, I don't want my child to be exposed to this other crap that I've been exposed to, but it is what it is. So, and no, I don't want her to be exposed to any of that unless she, decides to later on in life. Otherwise, I will not play horror games in front of her or keep them around my systems. Um, that's just me. I'm kind of different kind of cat in that regards. Now, moving on, talk about sales, so forth, so on. Let's talk about someone who's messing up big time. Well, they've been messing up for a long time, and we all thought when they acquired Activision was also a mess up because they have yet to revive any old Activision titles I would want to see. They ain't even thought about even saying, "Hey, we're bringing back this game. Hey, we thought about this game. Hey, we thought." No, they haven't. It's basically like, "Oh, we're paid all this money to have COD, and it's going to be part of our gaming pass." Now, this alleged, let's go over here to our little presentation, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the beautiful thing of the internet, which is so amazing and awesome. Is that if you look here, you can see price hikes, Game Pass, costs lost, Call of Duty sales, IGN, cancellations, angry, Fanatic subscription stacking, internet reacts. More or less, people are mad as heck. And this is going to be a family friendly show, so don't expect any profanity or me being, you know, exceedingly upset over here. Because I want every now and then, if I do something news wise, I want to be family friendly. But if you can see, everybody's super mad. Now, I am also a member of the Gaming Pass. And let me tell you, I think it is atrocious. I think it is upsetting that you're going to raise the money. And you can, let's say, for the sake of argument, you pay for Peacock because, or you used to pay for Peacock because you wanted the premium live events for wrestling, or you pay for Netflix because you wanted to be able to watch Raw. Those subscriptions add up. And you can't pay for everything. Everything's more expensive. Your electric bill's more expensive. I can go on that for a different thing that'd be more political and why we need to shut down those kind of things. But Microsoft is making a huge mistake, and I understand they're trying to recuperate losses. They're trying to put things the way they want to put things, and I don't understand the logic behind that, other than, it's like, well, you will accept it or you won't, and we'll be the only game in town. Now, for those who have the Ultimate Pass is unbelievably very good. But unfortunately, $30 is a lot of money. And it's like, well, that's a cup of coffee a day. You could, back in the old days when you see these commercials on TV, it's like, for $1 a day, some limey British person, for $1 a day, you can feed a family of four just for a cup of coffee. And I'm like, I'm not sure, you know, if I could feed a family of four just for a cup of coffee. But if the cup of coffee is from Starbucks and it's like $7, then maybe. And if you have that much coffee to begin with in the first place, there's a good chance you're going to die an early grave or of a heart attack from too much caffeine. But I digress. Or whatever intake that you're intaking. Now, my thing is with this gamer pass going up that much, you're not really offering much. And then the patsy they sent out there to talk about it, it's like, well, this is a really good thing because you're going to be able to do da 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 da. You mean things that we've already been able to do, or things that you forgot that we could do that you're just trying to make it as a new thing that you can do? Come on, man. Don't don't uh don't spit on my boots and tell me it's raining. Let me make that as clean as possible. And I actually tried to cancel mine as well, and it was so overflowed and so busy that you couldn't get the screen open to cancel fast enough. And a lot of people are very angry, and you have every right to be angry if someone wants to make things $30. And thing is, they could say, "Oh well, that's the reason why we can't make the games that they gave up on, they failed on, like Perfect Perfect Dark and Fable." That they pushed back because they realized that the tides have changed and people don't want that kind of trash it's like, look, I want to be able to make my character. How hard is it to be like early 2000s or mid 2000s, like, let's say 2009 or 2012, to basically, I can make my own character. You can have two different voice actors, a female and a male. And if you want to, for those who are on the other spectrum, you could have a two different versions of, let's say, trans or whatever they identify as, if we want to go that route as well, to appease those people as well. But saying that I have to play as an ugly character, be they male or female, is just ridiculous. You should have the right to make the type of characters you want, at least for the main character. Make your character either beautiful or ugly, or however you want to, or facial recognition, so characters ugly, for some people. Mine is basically Kojak. If you find Kojak attractive and you like Greek dudes, for some reason I look very Greek. Everywhere I go, I'm either Jew boy, Kojak, some form of Italian, rather than like, oh, I've never had someone say, oh, you're an Irish and Indian American. How are you today, sir? I didn't realize I was in the presence of a Comanche Indian and Irishman at the same time. Yes, you are. But I digress. Now, those options should be available. But of course, we get stuck in this craziness of this. It's almost like a political divide at this point, man. Games have being politicized numerous different times throughout life. The only thing the games have ever taught me is not to trust the government, and always, same thing with wrestling with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Never trust anybody. I don't even trust my own wife. Well, if you would stop doing certain things, Steve, you might be able to trust her. But Deborah was a different person unto herself, if you ever want to go down that rabbit hole of wrestling. But let me stay on point and not make this about wrestling. Uh, with gaming, we've always had this point of, we're always fighting against the machine. But when the machine takes over gaming and they start putting their stuff into games, which pretty much has happened over the last 10 to 15 years for cheap labor, for having these college kids come out, and they don't have any ideology other than what they've been taught in school, and they haven't read 1984. Or if they have, if they've read 1984, they read it from the wrong aspects. Or if they've read Brave New World from Albert Huxley. So there are many different philosophies in, or just in general, or even Greek philosophies, or even Roman philosophies. But a lot of these kids don't even know of the Stoic Society. They don't know of Ayn Rand and just many different things. All they know is what they've been taught in the last 5 years, and it's very sad because they don't really have any real philosophers other than the philosophers from, let's say, the 1960s/70s. And yes, they've done really great work for us. So with that said, EA is, I mean, not EA, we'll go to EA here shortly. Microsoft has lost a ton of money, and it's like, oh well, we have to be able to recoup some of our money, rather than saying, hey, we made a mistake, we're not going to pass our losses on to the general public. I'm pretty sure they can only write off so much money that they've lost without taking a hit, and that's more or less what they're doing now. Is they're saying, well, we can't afford to take the hit because the hit doesn't exist, because we cut however many losses that we can because of our studio. So now we have to basically pass that savings or that loss on to you, kind of like how inflation is in world in general with these corporate clowns. I still believe that if you're over $1 billion company, like I'm just going to say a billion in general. No, let's go 2 billion at least. Okay, if you're a $2 billion company, you should automatically be broken up. I still believe in the monopoly theory, that there should not be these corporations that are so too big to quote unquote fail. If they are owned by a equity group, or if they're not a private organization onto themselves. Sorry, I'm messing with my camera there, then that's problematic. And it's like, if you have to answer to shareholders every 5 seconds, and then one shareholder says, well, I want to go in this direction rather than that, basically you're messing with the art at that point. This is where I go back to, and I know people hate to see me say it. Sorry to Obi-Wan Kenobi's Nightstick, who basically got on to me about it in an email. One of our listeners, one of our longtime listeners, uh, who basically said, you need to stop talking about Expedition 33, the game, which has made a ton of money, which only cost, I believe it's $40. It's either 49.99 to buy that game, or you could have Game Passed it when Game Passed it was only $20. Now that Game Pass is 30, it's like, I don't know, but that's nor here or there, and I really think that we need to let artists be artists and let them fail. And when you have all these people buy in, and it's like, oh, well, it's all about profit margin, so you nickel and dime people for everything that you can. I just companies need to be broken up. Okay, now enough of me talking about Microsoft and their follies and their stupid. Well, not even that. They're just, I don't understand how. Again, it's one of those things where they set themselves up. People are going to gripe about it for a week. People will move on, and then they'll just pretend like nothing never happened. And that's how we do things. That it's really weird. That's how we roll in this country. It's like, oh, we forget about the bad things that happened or the things that took place. Now, let's get on to something else. Let's talk about another big company that is being bought by basically a bigger place, and I'm going to give them a shout out. I'm not being paid for this. They have not reached out to me. I did reach out to them for a comment. I did not get really any comment. And some people are trying to secure the bag from these people, but I am not. Even though I said it to one of my group chats, is that EA is being bought out by a Saudi Arabia public investment funds, and Jared Kushner. If you know who he is, I'm not going to go into it. If you don't know who he is, it is what it is. If you do know who he is, well, congratulations. Now, as you can see, it's $55 billion deal, leverage out buyout. Now, also, here's the thing: is it's going to make it a private company, so that means that No longer do I have to listen to investment people. I don't have to listen to anybody telling me what to do. I can do whatever I want with the company. A lot of gaming developers are upset about it. Some are happy about it. Some are like, in between. BioWare, some of the people who worked on BioWare, like, oh, they're going to take out all the let's just say unpleasant, or what people would consider unpleasantness, or some people consider progressiveness or wokeism, whichever one you want to call it. I would say that stuff that should be like, in other words, if it's not enhancing your game and you're just sticking it in there to stick it in there, you're not making anything better. Okay. Now, my goal and my dream with this, and I applaud the Saudi Arabians for doing this, because Saudi Arabia also owns SNK Games. Now, I had talked to a young gentleman today about SNK Games. He was not unaware that SNK Games is basically Neo Geo to an extent, fighting games like King of the Fighters. Um, was it Art of Fighting? There's like five World Heroes, all these other different fighting games that go on and on. Metal Slugs. So there's tons of games, and they have done a lot of remasters, and they're probably even going to do more. Those are really good old titles. Let's move on over here, and I want to go over to what I would actually want from EA going forward. Now, this will not take place or won't be official to 2027. This deal will go through because there's a certain person in the White House that is he has a son-in-law in that group, which was what I just mentioned. So I do not expect not that deal to go through, and it should be gone through by 2027. A lot can happen by then, but it's not going to stop that deal from happening. But I still don't believe that these places. Now, I think there should be private ownership. I do not believe that these places should be or should beholden to these big monopoly deals. And this is a big monopoly deal, but it's going to be private. It's not going to be a public sharing thing. Now, this is what I hope and what I want with this. Now, if you're looking at this little list with me, Wasteland, I like Caveman Olympics redone. I played that for the NES, or Olympics, but a Bard's Tale redone again. Bard's Tale's really cool. Fusion's not bad. And just let people know, Madden Football, or the deal they have with the NFL, is kind of up. I don't know if they've renewed it yet. I don't think they've renewed it yet. So I would like to see that deal be nixed. I didn't like it to begin with in the first place as a monopoly move, because that's why football games have been the same, is because of that type of silliness of having only one deal. I want EA Sports to bring back NFL Streets, do a updated version of NFL Streets, NFL NBA Streets, which was super awesome and super cool. That adds some coolness. Watch, they'll put the WNBA players in it. Like, oh look, she's doing TKO, and I'm just going down a list of just games I would want to see. This is their whole little list of different things from EA over the years. Well, I don't know about Vixen there. A different Slim City. Just there's tons of different things. Now, there's one game. Oh, Chuck Yeager's Advanced Flight Training. Obviously, I want that. I also do want what is it? Def Jam's Fight for New York, or just Def Jams in general. Now, I did listen to, or should I say, watch PlayStation 8 Dead podcast last night, and Will did bring it up that, hey, how would they pay for this music? Because some of this music belongs to Method Man, some of this music belongs to Def Jam's Records, or different. I don't really care about the music. I would just like to have the artist in the games, and I'm sure they would like to have that. Untouchable, the game, I'd like to have that. And again, it's paying for some of these license deals again, and some of these license deals are up. And I'd love to see Skate or Die redone, or Ski or Die. Sorry. But some of these games, there's so many ones. I like to see Fight Night be brought back, which is a boxing game. I love that to death. There's just so many games, and I'm just going down the list. James Pond, which was another good game. It was their version of I guess Sonic or Mario, which was really cool for what it was. Magic and Might, another good game. Uh, Rampart, which is obviously another good game from 1991. Rings of Power, another good game. Some of these are PC games. So if you're an older school PC game, Road Rash, man, imagine them doing an updated version of Road Rash, but not only And of course, like Burnout 3 is my favorite Burnout. So actually mixing those together where you could be online or offline would be super awesome and super cool. Okay. So there's just a lot of different games that they could actually touch on, redo. And then look, if I'm Saudi Arabia and I have access to EA, I want them to build me a Prince of Persia style game. And again, I give all the credit in the world to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for getting this deal done, but I also going to give them a lot of credit of now they have options to get games made, you know, developed that may or may not be in their interest. And I would rather them, for those who are a bunch of haters and saying I'm kissing the ring of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, look, there are so many things that they could do. And rather than wasting, their money on, let's just say, certain things that they shouldn't waste them on, it's nice that they would waste their money or not waste or uh, put their money in something of what young people considered art. And everybody considers, oh, Syndicate. I would love to see Syndicate brought back or a different version of Syndicate. That was a good game. General Chaos. I think I played this before. Yes, I did play General Chaos. That was actually a good RPG style game for the Sega Genesis. I think it was also a turn-based style um, RPG. Blades of Vengeance. A hockey. No, I thought it was a hockey game. But there are tons of games for, and again, I'm not even going through. I hadn't even hit the real list. NBA Showdowns. Bring that back. That was a fun game. So, and again, it seems like I'm kissing the ring or whatever. I'm just saying, I want good games. I want fun games. There's EA has a laundry list of good games that they have put out in the past. Shaq Fu was not one of them, unfortunately. So do not re-put out Shaq Fu. Michael Jordan, Chaos in the Windy City. Actually, a fun game, not bad. It was an action game with Michael Jordan. Magic Carpet. I would love to see that be brought back. That was actually a fun game for those who know. And again, if the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, if for some reason somebody there happens to see this podcast, I would love if you would touch base with me because there are so many games that y'all guys could remake from back in the past that are amazing, or even come up with some new games. Um, so just you know, hey, heck, I'm easy to find. I am not hard to find. And the only reason why I'm pumping this as hard as I want to is because there's so many games that y'all can bring back that are amazing games that the general public would love. And when you have endless pockets, you can bring back games that people love. You can bring back stuff people love. Loaded, awesome game. Loaded 1 and 2, both amazing games. Loaded's a little dark. It's rated M for mature for everybody, but Loaded is an amazing game. You know, again, I can't say enough about all the cool games. Uh, this one, I think, yes, I had played this one for original for PlayStation. Another, I think, is RTS game, real time strategy. For those who don't know, so, and I'm just going through the list of games that I would want. Die Hard trilogy, yes, please, redo that. And thing is, think about it. You don't even have to redo it. You can just basically put it out, and let it be remastered or not be remastered. Sell it for $15 a piece. Everybody will want that game because it's beat 'em up. Make it online. Just do a simple code where it's like where you play together with your friends, kind of like what they do on the PC, and then easy peasy, man. I mean, and then Wing Commander. I love the Wing Commander series. I used to get in trouble for killing my teammates. Yes, I'm kind of a horrible person, and then I go back and I get reprimanded and all this other stuff, and it's so hilarious. They're like, "You're a horrible pilot. I can't believe you take out your teammates." I forgot which one it was. It was the one for the NES. It was Wing Commander. I don't know which one, but again, I love that game to death. I would do that as a joke. It's like if anybody here's ever played Rambo for the NES, the original Rambo game for the NES, because it's basically Rambo 2, but it's just called Rambo. And Colonel Troutman's coming to you in prison. Spoiler alert for no one who never saw Rambo 2. But it's like and while you're in prison, it's like we need your help, and it's like, will you do the job? And I always say no, and it's like I feel better off in prison. And then Colonel Troutman says, "Well, the game doesn't begin." I mean, then it basically it tells you it's a game. It's no longer as like you're feeling like you're Rambo. You're in the situation of Rambo back then. It's like, well, the game doesn't begin until you say yes. And I'm like, then I just laugh for about 5 minutes and say, "Well, I feel safer in prison." Just to make Colonel Troutman mad as if this whole scenario was real. even though it's not. So it's funny on to me. Uh, for those who actually have that, you should do it, and you'll just laugh to yourself like, "Oh yeah, it is pretty funny," in a weird way. Um, Jurassic Park, actually, Jurassic Park's already doing a good job with their whole evolution thing and their little park theme thing they've been doing for the last couple of years. So never mind on the Jurassic Park, they're already doing an amazing job. Don't really care if they do another. Wow, cricket. Okay, not for me. Jane's Combat Simulator. Okay, fair enough. A little flight simulator there. And Skull Monkey or Skull Monkeys. That's a good game for the PlayStation 1 originally. That was okay. I believe I played Reboot. It's not showing that, unfortunately. But there are tons of great games they should be doing for EA. And like I said, I hadn't even really scratched the surface list, and I'm still at 1999. You had yet to really scratch the list of two. Okay, Knockout Kings is coming. You know, Best of Voodoo. There's just the Creed 1999 Windows. That looks cool. I mean, there's just a ton of games I have yet to even scratch the surface with EA here, but I just wanted to show everybody what EA could give you if you give them the chance and the opportunity to do what they can and can't do going forward. I mean, but the main thing that if I am the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that I'm worried about is okay, what are you going to do with FIFA? Are you going to make FIFA cheap and available for all the poor people? Because this getting out of hand with all these little extras for your ultimate teams. Will they get rid of ultimate teams? I mean, because again, you have to understand they go by different guidelines and different rules. And if they're going to be a private company, that means they're not going to be robbing you and trying to get every single cent out of you. It's not like they have to recuperate that money. They got, there's gold in them there hills, Pilgrim, or should I say Jed, for those who watch the Beverly Hillbillies, old school TV show. But I strongly believe that this is a good thing, regardless of what people from the PlayStation Ain't Dead podcast think. And I think it's going to help people out overall. And again, this is not a political thing. This is not like I am getting a check from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Um, I think what they're going to do is amazing things with these IPs going forward if they just do more than just certain IPs. Now, Battlefield 6 comes out this week. It comes out on the 10th of October. So for those who are going to be playing it, hey yo, hit me up. I'll be playing it too. Um, I look forward to the game. I think the game is going to be amazing. Hit me up on send me a message on Discord, send me an email. Hit us up wherever we're at, man, and hopefully I'll be able to play with you a little bit. Now, as always, I'm a single player game kind of guy. So even though I may hit you up and talk to you on Discord, like why is he playing Infinity Nikki? Why is he playing Ghost of Yute or whatever single player game? Because I'm a single player game guy by trait. That's just who I am. It's what I do. It's what I love. I've been playing single games before multiplayer games ever existed. It just is what it is. For like 20 years before real multiplayer games ever existed. The only multiplayer games we had back in the day was like the kung fu games from Data East, where you're like, "Watch out, Haji," and like you're trying to beat the other guy up, and you got the two sticks. For those who know, you know. Um, so that is what that is. Now, big thank you to gamers out there in general, man. And usually I don't do like a hardcore news thing for gaming. I usually talk about games I want to talk about or just things I want to talk about in general, regardless of what it is, whether people like it or not, because that's my show more or less. It's more or less about things I want to do. But I just felt that these two stories were very big with what Microsoft did, and it's a betrayal of all the fans. It's a betrayal of it's like, hey, we're not going to raise this, because they made pretty much promises before they, somewhat alleged promises. Let me put that out there. Allegedly, they made promises they were not going to do these things. So if people can find previous interviews of them saying that they were not going to raise Game Pass or anything like that in the future, you may have a lawsuit and be able to take them to court and get yourself paid. Me, I'm lazy. I'm not looking any of those things up. I just want a game. I just want to be able to do things outside of that. Take my fat self to the gym, and if you're having problems going to the gym or going and do things, just remember there's small things you can do at home. There's little workouts that you can do via YouTube for free. You have to put up some commercials unless you have YouTube Premium, but there's all these little things you can do. I've noticed everybody where I go to church at are losing weight, other than just me, and working hard. Maybe that's God saying, "Hey, get ready for whatever's coming. You need to be in shape and to be able to deal with these things and be not only mentally strong but physically strong for whatever may be coming." So there, two things could be true at once. But thank you to all gamers out there, man. This is not just a hobby. For people who don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs. They're not, whatever. This is like a lifestyle. I don't watch modern TV because it's like evil in like the worst way evil, with propaganda that's silly and ridiculous. Um, I play games. I play games. I try to take my fat butt to it's like if you see me shooting, if you're what I mean by shooting, you see watching me on video and you're seeing this, it's like, oh, this guy has like kind of a double chin going on. I'm trying my hardest to lose it. I promise you. I have lost a lot of good weight, but I need to lose a lot more. So then you're like, oh, it's Charlie Brown, because I'll have more of a peanut head rather than the I am I am typecast bad guy in whatever movie there is. Like, oh, I play bad guy. Um, oh, I play bad guy who punch you in face, or random bad guy in the background who gets randomly killed or something like that. Hopefully, I will just be like I can move up to a stronger supporting role of bad guy, or the main bad guy in whatever role, or at least a good guy. It's like, oh, it's like the good guy in the background. So it is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, aliens, whatever you are in this wonderful, beautiful world, thank you for watching or listening to the show. And if you can, please like, share, subscribe to the show. I know you have lots of shows that you listen to, but if you do that, that would be super cool and awesome for me. And it helps grows the show, and it helps me do more than just once a week. And sometimes I do more once a week, depending on what's on my mind and how much free time people will give me. So again, thank you. Have a safe and wonderful day. And as always, keep watching, listening wherever you are, and having fun playing games. Peace.